We were at Live the Dream 8. If you know what that is, drop it in the chat. But, it's, the premier online network marketing event in the world. I go so far as to say it's better than any company event. We're all in our own companies. I go to company events. I love them. But at company events, you usually get pounded with vision, with mindset, really with the belief. Now, that is great, but it doesn't give you the strategies to actually build your business. What we learned at the Live the Dream event are actual strategies: how to attract people on Facebook, how to run ads, how to get blog posts to rank, how to communicate with your prospects, how to build a tribe of followers, and things like that. So really, really cool stuff that actually helps you take your business to the next level, not just increasing that belief, but telling you how do you build the business, the steps you need to take, and exactly step by step. I'm talking really fast right now. It was just some amazing information we got. Amazing information we got at the weekend. So what I'm going to do, because you guys all know I like to talk, I'm going to turn it over to our other two guests here, or hosts, co-hosts, I should say, who were at the event, Destry and Yelena. I'm going to let them chuck a few of their takeaways, because those of you who know me have already seen some of mine on Facebook. So I'm going to let them take the floor. I'm going to let them share a few things. And, they're both very successful marketers in their own right. Destry just hit a leadership level recently, was recognized on stage, did some pretty cool breakdancing as well, which was nice. And Yelena is a Russian marketing ninja, or Russian tech ninja, whatever you prefer to go by. Full-time entrepreneur, just taking another week holiday out right now. So I'm going to open it up to these guys right now. Let's see what you've got and share with us some of your biggest takeaways.
This you want to start?
So I know Norbert covered this a lot over the past week, and he opened with this, but then, the three basic strategies that you want to focus on when you're building your business is to build an audience, engage your audience, and sell to that audience. And it really boils down to what platform are you most comfortable with. So me, I've been focusing on, blogging and using Facebook advertising. I know right now I'm still in the midst of learning a ManyChat, and I was able to grow, I think, a subscriber base to about 60 subscribers using paid ads, funneling them into ManyChat. So I'm still tweaking my ad and trying to learn more about it. And right now I'm just being a student when it comes to that strategy.
That's cool, man. And I just want to point out what Destry said there about building the audience, engaging the audience, selling the audience. Most people, most network marketers especially, they try and go straight for the sale. They don't have an audience. They just try and make the sale to whoever they can. And really, you'll notice in all of our marketing, this is something we do. And really, not just network marketing, any marketing in general. Look at TV ads, for example. They build an audience first. Then they engage the audience, and then they sell the audience, because it is so much easier to sell an audience who already knows, likes, and trusts you and wants what you have, and they've engaged with your stuff. It's so much easier at that point, because they've seen the value, they've gotten so much from you, that when the time comes to make the sale, it's a lot easier. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like the analogy of, trying to pop the question on the first date. And that's what a lot of marketers do online when they don't know how to use attraction marketing strategies, because it's really about building the relationship online before you actually get to the sale.
So yeah, man, let's see some of your nuggets, bro. Let's keep it, let's not go too into things like paid traffic and things like that. Let's keep it a bit more general that people can take away and start using right after this. And obviously, if they want to go and use any advanced strategies, more than happy to share those with people too.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back through my notes right here real quick. So one of the strategies that I implemented right away as I got out of the event was, to do a webinar right after. So one of the main strategies that I implemented right away was to just do Facebook Lives for a week, point them to a webinar that I was doing on Saturday, and then started off that way. So that was one strategy that I picked up from Norbert. And, he mentioned that, when you do a webinar, set a date first and then promote it and then create the content. I usually go create the content first, and that actually forced me to actually get into action and actually just execute on the webinar rather than try to create the content first and try to be perfect before I actually execute. It was a little more of a backwards thinking for me to do that.
Love that. Very big point you mentioned there is forced accountability. Sometimes in our businesses, we tend to say, I can do this today, I can do this tomorrow. And this can work even for people doing home meetings and stuff, right? It's not about, let's see how many people we get first. It's, this is when I'm doing the home meeting. This is when I'm doing the webinar. This is when I'm doing the Zoom call. Let's set a date, set it in stone and announce it. And then you start inviting people. It's that forced accountability. It really holds you and makes that urgency, and it makes you take action.
Yeah, because you have no choice. You have to host that webinar.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And, I find even for new people, even for something like a Zoom call, as simple as this, you could set up a Zoom call, say, okay, you're going to give people an insight into a business, which is going to help them get X, Y, and Z. And, then you can start inviting, because when you've set it in stone, it becomes a lot more real. Whereas if you're wishy-washy about it and say, well, we may do a training, we may do a Zoom call, nobody's going to take you seriously as an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter if you have, and at the beginning, you're not going to get a packed house necessarily. Wherever you have one person on or 100 people on, put the same level of effort into it and follow through. People are going to take you way more seriously as a business person when you do that. And I know, I saw Destry do that. I've seen Yelena do that before. Whatever strategy you're doing, forced accountability, that's one thing you guys will want to write down. Forced accountability is huge.
Awesome. Any thoughts on that, Jelena?
No, I think that's good, because typically that's how I've been doing webinars this year in particular, is just like create a good headline, create like a capture page so you can actually generate leads and all of that, and then start promoting the heck out of it. And some webinars, I will say, there were like, just to give you like a specific example, Sherry and I, we've done 2 webinars. So the first one we did, it was like the perfect webinar. Like I literally spent a month putting that together, and it totally flopped. Like we didn't make any sales. And then there was a month to put together damn webinars, like the slides, right? And then like we hired Mark Hubbard for coaching, and he told us like literally to do a webinar a week before we were supposed to do that. So we literally had like a week to put together the slides, to put together the ads and everything. But that pushed, I would say, the shit out of us, because like to put together a webinar, like it is a lot of work. You have to write the email, you have to write the follow-up emails, you have to create capture pages, thank you pages, videos, ads, push Facebook lives. So can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just said that my internet is unsuitable or something. And yeah, I totally agree with that point. Forced accountability, like you just, you kind of make yourself do what you probably didn't think you.
And forced accountability is great. But on top of that, the point of a webinar, that really puts you on the next level. For anybody new who hasn't done a webinar before, or maybe you're brand new to your business, whatever it is, the point is, by you doing a webinar and stepping into a leadership role, you are the authority. And I'll use this as social proof. Right now, Yelena, Destry, and I are leading this webinar here. We're already, an authority. When somebody new comes and sees this, they'll already have that instant authority, because these people are stepping out of their comfort zone and doing it. So even if you're not making money in your business yet, or you're not making much, the fact that you are on a webinar, the fact that you may have the home party, you may be at the front of the room. I'm not into home parties, just saying it. But the fact that you are stepping out and you're stepping up as a leader makes you instantly more attractive. It makes you an authority. And we all know people work with authority figures. It sets you apart from everybody else in your business, because most people, quite honestly, don't have the cojones to do something like this. So when you go and do that, whether it's for, promoting your system, or promoting your MLM or your affiliate product, whatever it is, The fact that you are hosting something makes you that authority.
I'm really glad you brought up that point, okay, because actually that was one of the points I made in the webinar this past weekend, was that when people see you as an authority, you only really need to know one more thing that they don't know, to be able to share that with them, for them to be able to perceive you as a leader. And that's one of the things that causes attraction. Someone perceives you as a leader. You don't necessarily have to be a know-it-all. You don't have to know everything, but if you know at least just one thing that your prospect or your audience doesn't know, they will see you as a leader. And if you deliver it in a way that helps them solve their particular problem or frustration, then they'll automatically be attracted to you, because attraction's it's an unconscious biological response. It's not something they consciously feel. It's something that they unconsciously feel about you when you start to provide value with them that helps them solve a problem.
Hit the nail on the head, man. Hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. It's like you look at people at any of your company events on stage, you already feel that they are the authority because of the fact of them being up there.
Exactly.
And, Yelena and I got to speak on stage at the event. And I'm telling you, that stuff really helps. No matter where you are, though, anybody can start running a Zoom call. Anybody can start running a webinar. Anybody can create a group chat. Or create your own Facebook group. By the fact of you being the leader of something and having the initiative to start it, you are that leader. And we all know people join leaders. We know that now. So yeah, really cool stuff. I love that forced accountability.
So I have one really, really big takeaway. It was actually not from from this, how do I say this? Not from the stage, speakers and stuff. It was actually one of the parties. I was talking to Justice Egan, and we were talking about product launches. So I was asking him why did mine and Sherry's product flopped, and he actually explained in a really good way how you're supposed to be selling something. And here's an example. So Justice, he launched his course called Social Testimonial Profits a couple of months ago, and it's basically all about writing story ads for Facebook. So it's all about running Facebook ads, and it's all about writing long copy, which most people, they're not that into writing, right? And so he explained to me how he sold that. So he basically told me hey, do people actually like writing? I said, no. Do people want to invest into Facebook ads? No. And he said, so how did I sell it? So literally in his video series, he has never mentioned anything about Facebook ads. He has never mentioned anything about writing long ass story ads. So, but he really focused on the benefits, and even the benefits of the benefits, because he focused on what do people really want? They don't want to write copy, they don't want to write Facebook ads, but they do want to generate more prospects, they do want to get more leads, and they also wanted to do that without blogging, video marketing, and all that kind of stuff. And that's basically what his course was all about. So, and that's why he created the super big launch. Because he really focused not on the features, hey, I'm going to teach you Facebook ads, that's boring, but he really focused on what people really wanted. So that was a really big key for me. Perfect.
And I love what you said, the benefits and the benefits of the benefits. So, let's relate this to anything. Somebody, I like to keep it general just because people are building different opportunities, but at the same time, too many people I see in health and wellness, they focus on the enzymes, they focus on the ingredients, but what's the benefit? The benefit is you'll lose weight. The benefits is you'll be looking 5 years younger. Or for people in different opportunity, maybe more business focused, the benefit, nobody wants a business, nobody wants this home thing. But what do people want? They want more time freedom. They want more time to spend with their kids. They want more holidays. They want more side income. They want, to do something meaningful with their time. They want a community of people to be around. You sell the benefit and the benefit of the benefit.
And I think it goes even further than that. I remember I actually purchased that course from Justice Egan. And one of the things that he mentioned in one of his audios is he literally paid attention to what the market's pain was and sold them a solution to their problem. That's really what that course really came out to. That's why it became so successful, because he actually paid attention to what people were saying were their biggest problem, and then he positioned his product as the solution to the problems, and that's why he got such a massive response for people buying his course.
Yeah, and there was one phrase that I hope I worded the right way. So he said, give people what they want and sell them what they need. So, you know, they need to learn, like they want to generate more leads and get more prospects for their business opportunity. And what they need is to write Facebook ads in long copy.
Yeah. So, you know, we can relate this to anything. But just in case any of you don't know who Justice Egan is, he launched a course that Yelena just described, and I think the guy did $250,000 in sales in a week or 10 days, something ludicrous like that. Yeah.
Probably even more, yeah.
So, you know, imagine even if you had a smaller amount, imagine you wanted to do maybe $5,000 worth of product sales in a week. You know, it's very doable, it's scalable, and it's all about leading with that ties back to build the audience, engage the audience, sell the audience, because Justice promoted this to people. He built an audience around it. He didn't build an audience of people who weren't marketers. He built an audience of marketers. So if you're building a network marketing company, you build an audience of people who want to start a home business, people who want to make more money, people who want more time freedom, health and wellness, people who want to lose weight, people who want to get healthier. So you find your target market, you create that audience, then you engage them and then sell them. So this all fits together really nicely.
Definitely.
So yeah, Des, I'm going to let you tear on with your notebook, man.
Yeah. A lot of the things that, you know, I went through that I focus on primarily was just mindset. But one of the biggest things that I got from just attending the event is the personal networking, because once you attend a live event, you start to build belief within yourself, and you start to realize that, you know, the people that attend the event, the leaders that you see on stages, they're just real people who figured out, you know, different way to market in order for them to build a successful business. But you just see them as real people rather than trying to, you know, put them on a pedestal. That's one of the biggest takeaways. Like hanging out with you and Jelena, I know everybody perceives you guys as these icons online, and then I hang out with you guys. We're just friends. Hashtag. We have an inside joke. It's hashtag. Was it? It ain't easy being an icon.
Yeah.
And we played that off like over the weekend. It's you know, making out to live events really builds your belief within yourselves, and, you know, belief that, you know, the people that are successful are just regular people who just figured something else out. That's really how it is. It boils down to.
Mm-hmm. They figured something else out. And one thing you'll notice about all the leaders, no matter where they are, they take action daily, yes. Right? It doesn't matter about how difficult it was in the beginning. Some of you might have heard my story. Just 18 months ago, I was flat broke. And now to speaking on stage, you know, full-time in the industry, you know, creating multiple streams of income. It's really that simple. It's really as simple as taking action. Obviously, we hear in this industry, there's no guarantees. I'm just telling you from my own personal experience, I've never seen anybody take consistent daily action for 365 days and not produce a result. I've not seen it. I'm not saying everyone's going to become a millionaire, but I've not seen anybody take that kind of action and not produced some kind of tangible result. And, you know, we all know, if we're honest with ourselves, have I taken as much action as I could have over the past year? Perhaps not. But this is why it's so important to get to these events. I recommend every 90 days because we've all been fired up since we came back. But after a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, that will dwindle. So every 90 days is probably the longest you should go between going to events. So whether that's your company local event, your company regional event, a company international event, a third-party event like our MLSP one, which I love because it's, you know, there was people from every company there. Like, you know, I don't usually like to name names, but there was people from every health and wellness company. There's people from every skincare company. There were people from wine companies. There were people from jewelry companies. There were people from technological companies. And, you know, I know what companies people are in, but yet we all come there to learn the marketing. It's, you know, no pitch zone. And I think that's more powerful for me because I'm learning from people who are successful in every company. And when you understand the basics of marketing and the fundamentals, it doesn't matter what you're selling. whether it is a wearable technology wristband, whether it's a bottle of wine, whether it's skincare, whether it's supplements, or anything else under the sun.
Yeah, I also like the fact that you get to, like you mentioned, you get to talk with people from different companies, because obviously, like even here right now on this call, like everybody's from different companies, from different businesses, and you kind of get to see how they build a business. So if you have somebody, let's say, join your coaching program, or let's say like Kay and I were coaches in MLSP as well. So, or let's say somebody joins MLSP under you, you know how to teach them, like how to like promote their company based on the conversation you had based on the conversation you had with somebody at the event. So it's good to see different perspectives and how people like do different things, and just like what kind of strategies they're using. Because I will say, Sherry and I, and we were picked up at the airport, and we were with Keisha Bass, and like that girl is a freaking ninja when it comes to YouTube. Like I totally want to pick up her brain a little bit more, but what she shared is just being like mind blown. So I totally I like the fact that we have, the conversation. I mean, here's the deal, like the panels and the speakers and the training, it's awesome, but you can get this on webinars. Like, believe it or not, you can get this on webinars, but you can't get access to those conversations anywhere but at the live events. And I feel like this is really what's priceless about, these types of events, not just MLS, but, there's others like, genetic training events. So.
Mm-hmm. It's, for me, the live events is, like Destry said, you see people are regular people. And I saw people there this weekend, some people I know earning like 50 grand a month, and regular people, they don't look anything special. The thing is, they've honed in on a marketing strategy and they've made it work for them. So not everybody wants to do Facebook Lives, for example. There's some people who don't even do videos, but they'll do blogging. Or some people will do YouTube, like Keisha, like you mentioned. Some people are big into Twitter. It's all about finding that one marketing strategy that works for you, being consistent and persistent with it. And like we said, nothing really sets these people apart from taking the action. I mean, I used to go to events and look at people and say, well, hang on, I speak better than that person, or like, well, that person's way older than me, right? Like there's different things we can always think, and you can do it wherever you're at. That's the beauty of this industry, right?
Yeah, there's no limits, no age limits. You can be old, you can be young, you can be whoever.
Russian, you can be anything.
You can be anything, right?
Absolutely. And guys, just as we go along, if you do have any questions, we're going to take a couple at the end. So feel free to chuck them in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end if there are any. So.
Yeah, also another thing that I really liked, which Lisa Torres was speaking. So you probably know, this is one of my favorite people. And I like the fact that she taught, not just prospect, because sometimes people just want give me the lead generation strategies. I just need some freaking leads, right? But I feel like one of the most important things as well is organization. And I'm a total organization freak when it comes to getting things in order and all that kind of stuff. And she taught about Trello, which is my number one tool, Trello.com. It is free. There's a paid option, but you don't really need to use it because it has some silly features or something. But, basically, and she really touched on two different aspects of a business. So you have two different types of tasks. So number one is the one that, you're supposed to be doing, like videos, talking to people, getting on the phone, sending emails to your list, the communication aspect. And number two are the tasks that you can outsource, creating images, doing video editing, sharing your stuff into Facebook groups and stuff like that. So I like that she touched a little bit on outsourcing because, especially if a lot of people, they're, busy and they have families and kids. So most people don't have a lot of time to, focus on something crazy like blogging daily or something, right? So it's really good to organize, kind of get your shit together with Trello and, hire maybe a VA or two to make your life a little bit easier. So I think that was, her stuff was really good.
And that's cool, especially for people with families, with kids, because you don't want to do everything in your business, but if you are doing everything on your own right now, you need to focus on the main things. And I see too many people Wasting time scrolling through Facebook, randomly chatting, that's cool, right? We need to do that, but not so much the scrolling, but we do need to talk to people, but we also need to have our non-negotiables we do every day. So if I ask anybody, and if anybody's brave enough, put in the comments, how many people have you shown your business opportunity to? And I don't just mean spamming them, but people you've had a conversation with who want to see your business opportunity. How many people have you showed that presentation to in the last 7 days? And, you know, if we're completely honest, for most people, that number is either 0 or it's only a couple. And to build a serious business, you need to be exposing your business to, you know, a few people a day. I'd say, you know, minimum of 1 to 3 people a day, and probably 5 a day if you really want to hustle and you really want to take this full time. So I think it's a good idea to make a checklist of the non-negotiables. So for me, that would look like building my audience, adding 10 new people a day on Facebook, engaging my audience, creating one piece of content that's going to speak to them daily, and then selling my audience, getting in maybe, let's say, 10 conversations a day or 20 conversations a day with the goal of finding out somebody's pain points, finding out what they need, and then moving that to where, if it's suitable, to show them my business opportunity presentation. Those are the things you want to do daily. And then other things like, sure, we all like to put like quote images and stuff, which is great. But if you are limited on time, outsource that, you know, get somebody else to do it. Get a kid, get a family member, maybe pay a cheap virtual assistant to go and do those things. Because you can do those things. I do some of them myself, but I never put those before my main income producing activities.
That's a good point. And you can also automate it on Facebook fan pages. If you are short on time, spend like a half hour, you know, scheduling out a month's worth of image quotes, for example.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
Wait, like, that's one of the problems that I've been running into. It's just finding pockets of time to figure out, you know, what can I do to basically make my time a lot more effective. And it really does boil down to, you know, when Kay talks about non-negotiables, so really in my mind, it's, you know, what are your money making activities? Which activities are you going to be focusing on that will help you grow your business? And it really comes down to, you know, prospecting, following up, and closing, and getting exposures for your products or your services or your business. That's one of the, if you focus on that, you can outsource everything else.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned, you know, scheduling stuff. Obviously, that's not what you want to do on your profile. It's better, like, if you don't have time, it's better to post less, but post quality and post it yourself rather than, like, you know, showing up. Hootsuite posted that, so nobody cares, right? So, but fan page, I like this tip. You know, spend like 30 minutes or an hour, like a week or per month, just schedule all of your stuff for the fan page. And also, like, I like having, like, and this may not come, like, since day one, because if you're just starting out in business, you kind of don't know, like, specifically what you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis. But once you really get down to a good daily and weekly mode of operation, and you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, for example, like, post a blog post on Monday and promote the heck out of it, like, the entire week, you know, email your list, or do a Facebook Live, like, on your fan page on Tuesday and run ads to it. So once you have, like, a system of what you do on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, like what you promote, what kind of ad are you going to be running, what kind of budget you set aside for that, how many times per week are you going to be sending, like, emailing your list, how many people do you need to talk to every single day. So once you have all of that, you could totally, like, put all of that into, like, let's say into an app like Trello, and have, like, all of your activities laid down, you know, on the screen. So, you know, like, you don't mess around and you don't waste your time. So you do exactly what you know, are supposed to be doing, like, you know, money making activities, and outsource the rest.
Mm-hmm. Because especially in network marketing, something I find is most network marketers don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They have no business experience. You know, I didn't either. And we come online and we don't know what we're doing. So when you have that daily method of operation, literally write it down, check it off as you do it every single day. That's going to ensure that you are, you know, doing profit producing activities or income producing activities. Because it's very hard to show 100 qualified people your presentation and not make any sales. I don't see anybody do that. It's very hard not to.
Yep.
And one thing I wanted to keep in mind, I'll share with everyone, is that, get a calendar. Do something. You can either do it online, you can do it on paper, but really, I have a separate notebook for content ideas that I have running, that I actually plan out when I'm going to release those content ideas throughout the month. And I have, for right now, after Live the Dream, I scheduled out my content for a month because we got so much value from that event.
Nice. And that's another key thing. I'm sure many of you may have heard me say this before, but where Destry just said he's scheduled out his content for a month from the notes he took at Live the Dream. Anytime you go to a company event, take notes. Your book is your content. That's what you're going to start sharing. Anytime you watch somebody else's Facebook Live and you get some good tips, anytime you watch a training like this one, you'll have some tips now you can go and share with your audience.
And like Ray Higdon, I think it was Ray Higdon that said, your notes are uncashed checks. So most people just have them sitting on their shelf. If you're just letting them sit there, it's really uncashed checks that you can't use to actually, build a relationship with your audience and start to generate sales.
Mm-hmm. And you look at any of the top leaders, because some people may not understand this concept, but you look at anyone speaking on stage, chances are they haven't come up with that unique thing. They've learned it from somewhere and then they're sharing it with the room. People who are talking about mindset, they probably didn't make that up. They may have heard it from Tony Robbins, who heard it from somebody else, but they can relate it to their audience in a different way. Just like when fitness instructors talk about the importance of protein timing, they didn't create that. They learn from scientists and then they go and share that out to their audience that they've built, which is why we come back to that common theme of the audience again.
Yeah, and another thing that I really liked was what Mark Harbert was sharing, the idea of multi-touch marketing, where basically you have people in multiple different places, which it doesn't really require you to build multiple social media accounts and stuff like that. But the fact that you can build, which you should be building, your email list, which is number one, your basically number one asset. You can have people on your Facebook friends list. You can, if you're ready to take it up a notch and build up a fan page, you can build not only your fan base as fans on your fan page, but you can also build a messenger list. And so I feel probably about 40% of the event training was all about ManyChat and Messenger, because who can beat 97 or 99% open rate on the stuff that you send to your subscribers? So I feel that's, and I will say that it's not really, I'm not going to say ManyChat is really complex. If it's kind of like a second email list, right? So I feel that's something that's really beneficial, and it's hot right now, so it's totally worth, you can look at.
Yeah, that was good stuff about ManyChat. If any of you haven't heard of it, it's basically like having your own email list or your own list of subscribers, but they are already your Facebook fans. So because they are subscribed to your fan page, they're already a good qualified audience, because obviously they're liking your fan page or else they wouldn't be there. And now you can send them updates. So let's say you have 1,000 fans on your fan page and you're doing an event for your company. You can send something out that day.
No, not exactly. So if you have 1,000 fans on your fan page, they're not necessarily on your ManyChat list. You have to get them somehow to be subscribed, either through a Facebook ad, have them leave a comment and then have them being added, or they should go, that person is not necessarily, he or she doesn't, gosh damn it, it doesn't necessarily need to be your Facebook fan, but if that person is just
you have to
Facebook,
interact with your bot.
It's all about interaction, that's it.
On your chat list.
Yeah, so we need to get them onto the list, but once they're on that list, the open rates are so much better than email and everything. When you get a Facebook message, chances are you open it. That's what I do, right? So when people get Facebook messages, they open it, and then they're more likely to go click on a link or register for your webinar your webinar that you're doing, or even take a look at whatever else you're doing. If you've got a piece of content, maybe you created a video about how your company or product or service helps people, and you put a link to that video, people will go and check it out.
Yeah, and I like ManyChat too, also because it gives people the option to pick their own path. if they don't want to see a certain, or if they aren't interested in a certain amount of content, you can, generate a specific targeted list of that. If you have you can also have a targeted list of people who, are interested in buying more leads, because you phrase it in a way that, it gives them the option to see if they want to learn more or not learn more. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense on that subject, man. So yeah, I mean, the ManyChat stuff was really good. Anything else you guys wanted to share? So we've kind of gone over a bit of a bit of build, engage, sell. Went over a bit of ManyChat there, a bit of forced accountability.
One thing that really stuck out to me was when Norbert talked about owning your own value. So, when we're building value and we're trying to create content, it really boils down to, your confidence level. And, we've been on all these types of trainings, and because of that, you become more valuable to the marketplace. So all you really need to do is get your message out there in your own unique voice. And that's when people will start to resonate with you. So if you don't put it out there, nobody's going to know about you, and nobody's going to be able to find your content, and you're not going to be able to build that audience. But if you start to just own that content and realize that you have value to provide to other people, then people will start to resonate with you, and you'll start to get the results that you're looking for, rather than if you're, not taking action, for example.
And that's the thing. I mean, even just by being on this training now, you've learned certain things. I encourage you to go and take the notes that you should be taking.
And do a Facebook Live or a blog post or something.
Go and create some content on it. Teach your audience something. Teach something to people. And that's the fastest way to become an authority, is to teach. I'll put it to everyone who's tuned in right now. When you see someone do videos, again, they're instantly the authority. And when they teach you something, you start to like that person a bit more. No one ever said, wow, that guy taught me something. I absolutely hate him. No one ever said that, right? So people like people who share stuff with them. And you'll notice big leaders in MLSP or in your own companies, they teach stuff, they share stuff, and they build that tribe, they build that following.
And just another point that I got from Norbert's presentation too is selling is a transfer of confidence. So how confident are you in actually selling your product if you aren't able to communicate it in a way that actually, that helps provide value? It's just one thing that really resonated with me, that it's just a transfer of confidence. How confident are we in what we are promoting?
Yeah, the confidence is key, right? Confidence, belief in yourself, in the product or company you're promoting, and belief in yourself and confidence in yourself, then the product or service, and then the company. You want to have all three in alignment. So, the confidence is the real key, right? It's the real key, because if somebody is not confident, you can sense it, and it goes deeper than that. If somebody's not confident, you can sense it, and then if they're not confident, you think, well, our minds work, and we think, well, why is that person not confident? Maybe their product doesn't work. Maybe their system or their service doesn't work. And if you're not projecting confidence, you've sabotaged yourself before you started. And I know some people are going to wonder, well, how do I get more confident? Here's a quote that I coined myself. I like to sometimes quote myself on it, but I say, you getting the pen ready? I can see that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably going to mess it up now, but confidence is the sum of repeated successes. Success is the sum of repeated failures. So confidence is the sum of repeated failures. So if you want to be more confident, all you've got to do is fail more. That's it.
Yeah. And that requires you taking action.
Yeah, exactly. So if you take action and fail, you will become confident. You just have to do it enough times.
So as you guys know, I break dance, and I don't know if many people that are watching this training actually know that about me. But one of the things that I started learning about it is the more I tried and failed, the better I got at that certain skill set. And it's the same when it comes to marketing, because marketing is just a skill set. The more that you try something, you adjust it, and then you try it again, and you just keep refining it to the point where you eventually get it. But it does take time. You just have to have patience in learning this new skill set.
Just like surfing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Kay and I actually went out surfing when we were out in Austin, Texas. He's never been before. I've been a couple of times, but it really boils down to that. You know, it's a skill set that anybody can learn with enough time, discipline, and effort. And
just know that you are going to fail. Know that you are going to mess it up, and embrace it. Like the first 15 minutes, I couldn't even stay on the board really, but after that, I was surfing like a pro. You know, but it's one of those things you just gotta understand that you are going to be rubbish at the beginning. You are going to fail. You are going to cock up, but it's just embracing it. You know, embracing it. Too many people, I see them not getting successful because when they start to fail, they get frustrated and they quit. But the way to not get frustrated is know that that is the precursor to success. Just like you've probably seen that image where the guy is digging and he just stops like this close to the diamonds. Well, you're going to have that. Before you reach the diamonds, you're going to have all that digging where it just feels like uphill battle. It just feels like a lot of work. But you will get to the success in the end.
Yeah, one thing that resonated with me from Bert's presentation is I love the way that he was simplistic about his message. He boiled it down to take an action, you get a result. If you don't like the result, change the action. It really boils down to something as simple as that. Just take the action, get the result. If you don't like the result, change the action.
Boom.
Yeah, as simple as that.
And that's really what it boils down to. You know, it's that simple.
Awesome. Any other takeaways from you guys, Jelena or Kay? Anything that stood out to you guys when you guys?
I always like Norbert's trainings because he really breaks it down and makes it super simple for anybody. Either like you're getting started or you've been in the game for like a long time and then you're just trying to. Or you're just trying to overcomplicate stuff. So I don't know about Kay, but me and Sherry we typically try to get like into too fancy type of marketing, and then we forget about the basics. And Norbert kind of calms us down with his training to like really take it back to the basics because we always win, right? So stuff like, build, engage, sell, you really break it down like how do you build an audience? Like, and he, just like last year, he showed different like methods and basically everybody from the audience shared, the methods, how you build an audience, how you engage with the audience and how you sell to that audience. And then all you do is you just like, how do you say that? Highlight what you want to use and then just, focus on the one strategy. So It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, and sometimes the simpler the better because we try and get a bit fancy, but you look at any of the top leaders, top income earners, they're usually keeping it very, very simple. Apart from a couple of, crazy ninjas, they take it a bit far, but the majority of people, like we saw Diane Hockman, she's not big on ads. She's not very big on video. She's not very big on webinars. She's not very big on so many things, but she uses her own strategies and pulls it all together. For her, it's storytelling. For me,
lazy marketing.
I have to say something here. She's huge on videos, but she was huge on videos like I think like 8 years ago or something. She has over 700 YouTube videos. Like she was nuts on videos, and she's kind of like getting comfortable on Facebook Live. But just so you know, in case you ever like Diane, she was only just because I'm working with her a little bit. She's a different kind of animal. But she really believes in videos. So I don't want you to think that she doesn't believe in videos because she's telling all of us, go create content, do videos. And sorry to stop you there, but
no, that's cool. No, I appreciate
she didn't believe in videos because she has over 700 on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. And that's good. What I meant was like, obviously she doesn't, it's not as consistent as the amount, for example, I might do, but you brought up a really good point. This is just the power of creating content because she has over 700 videos that she's done years ago. People are still finding those. And that's why I'm so big on creating content because you can talk to 10 people a day for a year, but when you stop talking, you stop getting leads. When you turn off the ad budget, you stop getting leads. But when you have videos out that people can keep finding on YouTube and things like that. So yeah, really good point there. Yeah.
I actually wanted to bring up this point when Daryl Eves took the stage. He's a YouTube expert. He said something that really resonated with me too, that we talked about content, and we all know that, content is king, and it helps, people find your value and figure out, just figure out if they know, like, and trust you. But he also mentioned that although content is king, distribution is queen, and she has the real power. So the reason that she brought up, Diane Hoffman having 700 plus videos, that's her distribution channel. If you think about it, every piece of content that she has, every single video, is all pointing back to her, and they all help her generate leads, and she doesn't have to actively work on them. They're each a distribution point for people to find her content. And that's why it's important to continually put content out there, because eventually you'll build up a repertoire of so many pieces of content that you don't actively have to keep advertising. People will start to follow or find your content through organic means. They can just Google it if you start to do SEO strategies, and it'll be there for a lifetime. You're build up such a library of content that people are always going to be finding you.
And it's kind of like you're kind of cloning yourself with those YouTube videos. Like, you're sleeping and there's 300 videos of you talking.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like, I checked in. I'm not too active on YouTube. I need to get back to it. But I even looked at my minutes watched, and it's crazy. Like, so many people message me on Facebook saying, "Hey, I found your video on YouTube," and then I have a link to my Facebook in the description, and people come and connect with me. And what do you think that person thinks of you now? They've searched something, they've somehow come across your video, they've watched maybe one, maybe multiple videos, and they come and reach out to you. Do you think they see themselves as higher value than you, or do you think they see you as higher value than them?
Yeah, that's a different conversation for sure.
Absolutely. But again, you're just why it's so key to be creating content. And for me, the biggest thing that I could take away is, all right, we saw Jesse talk about ManyChat. We saw Mark talk about ManyChat. We saw Yelena on the panel talk about Facebook ads. We saw people on my panel talk about organic Facebook engagement, YouTube, you name it, Instagram, everything. But it's find somebody whose style and procedure you resonate with and go and take action on that. Like, if you hate Instagram, don't do it. If you hate running Facebook ads and it boggles your mind, don't worry about it. Do the things you enjoy doing, because that's what's going to keep you more consistent. If you hate doing something, it's just like having a second job. And I know when I had my job, I used to hate the first job. So why would I want a second one, right?
There's many paths to success. I had a question about what Dr. Joe talked about. Can you talk about what Dr. Joe talked about? Joe Dispenza?
I'll let one of them handle that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, my head was spinning pretty much the entire time he was talking, because he was like literally like super fast, but he obviously talked a lot about mindset. And I guess like one of the things that has really like always stood out, like whenever like I heard him speak or when I read his book, is he always preaches the fact that, you have to like act and feel as if the event has already happened. So let's say if you want to hit a specific rank in your company, like how would it make you feel if you're already this rank? Like what kind of actions would you take? Like how would you communicate with people? So I think that has been really, and I feel like, honestly, I would definitely recommend to anybody the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It is a massive read, but I mean, it's just like you really get to immerse yourself into what he's teaching. And not only you actually get to take your time to like really get into the book, because at the event, like I said, it was like super fast. But another thing that he said, I'm just reading through my notes right now. Another thing, like you have to change your personality. So because typically like when we start out in business, like the person that we are in the beginning, it's not the person that's going to like reach like the ranks or speak on stage or whatever. Just to give you an example, 3 years ago, was it 3? Yeah, 3 years ago, I was like, 19 years old, graduated from high school, an introvert. I could never see myself speak. I mean, although like we did some stuff at school and like I was on stages and stuff like that, but like I never was like a confident person. Like my YouTube videos just like flat out suck, like the first ones. So like you clearly have to change your personality, and that's going to happen only if you take action. So so changing your personality and really becoming someone else. So that's what he said.
I think he phrased it in a way that said your personality creates your personal reality.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to change your personality to create a different reality for your life. I actually, for people short on time, I actually, like me, I have a family, a full-time job still. I'm not doing online marketing full-time, but I listen to the audiobook over and over again. And I absorb it a lot more, especially since with my job, I travel a lot. So listening it's in the background, and I also read the book when I do have the time. But, one of the things that he mentions is, that thoughts are the vocabulary of the brain and feelings are the vocabulary of the body. And the way that I realize this is, your thoughts and your conscious mind is probably only 5 to 10% of your brain's capacity. And your feelings are your you think of your feelings as your unconscious mind. So if you repetitively feel a certain emotion, that gets ingrained into your mind, and you continually to follow those same patterns. So if you want to get a different result, you're going to have to start changing the way you feel about certain things and have both your thoughts and your feelings aligned with one particular vision.
Thank
you.
Yeah, it's really sharing. I appreciate that.
Definitely. If you haven't picked up Breaking the Habit of Viewing Yourself, either audiobook or...
Yeah, and also he said that like if you're connected to like certain emotions, then you're in the past. And the past, obviously, you cannot change it. You can just embrace the fact that it happened and let go of those emotions and, create the new emotions. So if you... I can't really give like any particular example, but I mean, like it's kind of more, I guess, a generic thing. Like we've not only heard this from Dr. Joe, but like from other like trainers, that staying in the past is not going to help. So you always have to like live in the moment and work on your future basically. So and it's all about the emotions and all about the energy that you feel.
Okay,
so
good.
If you guys remember, well, I don't know, not a lot of you guys know this, but then the people who actually did attend the event, they saw me breakdance on stage. So my vision of actually creating that event, I spent a good portion of my morning rituals just envisioning myself breakdancing when I received my L1 award, before I even hit L1, before I received that rank advancement. So I always visualized, I created that feeling. I got into the state of when I was actually breakdancing on stage before it even happened. And then, as we all know, I manifested it and made it happen at the event.
Congratulations.
That is so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, that was incredible watching that, right? But you can really manifest this for any stuff. And, for some people who are watching may not really vibe with it all yet, I'll be honest. When I first heard this stuff, I thought, what on earth are they talking about? What kind of drugs are they on?
Exactly.
But
it is unbelievable at first, yeah. But
yeah.
it is.
But, yeah, like I've gone from flat broke 18 months ago to doing this full time speaking on stage. Last year, I kind of said it that I would be speaking on stage. And I just kind of, even though I didn't 100% believe it at the time, I ingrained that into my vision, into my ritual. And you know what? It happened.
Hey, when would you say I think it was you and Sherry that put a pact together, right? Like when did you guys do that?
Put what together, sorry?
Didn't you and Sherry like become accountability partner somewhere, and then
Yep.
When did that happen? Was that last year's Live the Dream, or was that before?
No. So it was before last year's Live the Dream. So what happened was, I think it might have been it's probably around November or December 2015. Okay. We were both L0 and MLSP. We put that together. We started building. And then once we both hit like L1 come February and then moving on to L2, that's when we decided to, say, hey, well, let's make the Master Marketers Facebook group to help us use our talents together. Mm-hmm. So yeah, really, it works perfect to the numbers. People say 90-day action plan. We did that around December, and by February, we both ranked up for the first time. So pretty much 90 days of that consistent action. It's funny how you hear those numbers, but for us, it rang true, almost to the date.
That's good, because somebody else was talking to me about this group I'm in called Rank Makers, and like, well, is it working for you yet? I said, well, I don't know yet. It hasn't been 90 days, so I can't judge a strategy if I haven't done it, at least 90 days. So it's up too soon, but you're right. If you have to put forward a strategy and move forward and go for it. So
and
that's awesome.
Accountability partner was huge because with me and Sherry, we became accountability partners, both became member of the month, both ranked up to high levels, both speaking on stage. And then when we took Yelena under our wing as well, we kind of all did this together. And lo and behold, she's on stage too.
Specific skills. She brought a lot to the table.
Absolutely, right? So it's nice. We can all leverage from each other. So that's the thing about, I say, find an accountability partner who complements you, but also someone who's got that drive. Because if you have an accountability partner who doesn't do anything, then it's not just a case of you pulling all the weight. That person is going to drag you down. You have to find someone who's where you're at. And at the same time, not that you would, but to anyone who's watching this, like, you don't want to be dragging someone else down. I'll tell people, I'll match their energy. If they're doing nothing, I'll match that bit of nothing, and I'll either kick them to the curb or I'll stay doing my own thing separately. But when you find an accountability partner who's got that same vision, goal, and drive as you, game over. It's full steam ahead from there.
Yeah, because that's something that I did as well. Like, I had an accountability partner, I believe from August 2015 to and beyond. And in November, I think I hit L1. And then I got connected with Kay through, I think, 3 Minute Expert. And with Sherry, it's pretty funny. I connected with her only last year around, I think, June on Facebook. And then after Living the Dream, we just became like besties. And there's no day that Sherry and I don't talk for hours and hours. So yeah, accountability has definitely been huge, and you really need to find the person or 2 people who have the same drive and energy, and that are committed. They're not gonna quit, a year from now. So I feel like that's important as well.
Yeah. All right. Wicked. I think we just dropped a lot of stuff on there, right? So I don't want to keep this too long. I want to thank everyone for staying on, but I want to see if there's any last things that you wanted to share or any questions that anyone had.
Live the Dream. The next one is Live the Dream 9, but it's the 10th anniversary, right?
Yeah, they don't promote it as Live the Dream 9 because it sounds confusing. So it's just the 10th anniversary. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, well, what? You just went to Live the Dream 8, but it was because it was the
because it was founded in 2008. 2008 is when it started.
Okay.
So,
and then Live the Dream was at the end of the year. So.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I just got someone to watch my kids. My mom.
Beautiful.
Wear your best dress, Trisha.
Brilliant.
It's going next year, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. But yeah, if no one else had anything else to share or any questions, I just want to leave you with an action step to take. So you've heard us say about what we got out of this event. This is my 3rd Live the Dream. I think Destri's first, Yelena's second, and every single time progression is just carried on and the events get better and better. So I want you to commit to finding a way to get there. It's, you got a year to plan, to put the money aside, to find, babysitting arrangement for children, things like that. Commit to being at the event. That's the first step. And secondly, I know we've got, a few people on and going to be watching the replay of this who are not currently members of MLSP. The things that we've discussed here, as I'm sure you're aware, you're not going to learn at your company events. We're all in our own company, and we don't learn those at our company events. This is real, tangible marketing, real results, real strategies you can measure to get the results that you want. And we're all, it's no coincidence that we're all hitting ranks, all getting results in our primary businesses as well as MLSP, creating audiences, multiple streams of income. So if that sounds up your alley, I encourage you, reach out to the person who invited you to watch this either live or the recording, and we can show you how to get started.
Great, Kay. Thanks everybody for sharing. It was awesome to hear your perspective.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers everybody for jumping on. And we'll see you again in, I guess, a fortnight, right?
Yeah, fortnight.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Take
Bye.
care, guys.